What's going on, everybody? I'm Sage, and today we're going to jump into Torghast. This video, I'm going to try a different video format where I go over the general Torghast elements, and then I will have a follow-up video with content more specific to Feral Druids in Torghast. So to start off this guide, let's ask, what do players have to do to complete Torghast? Is it a roguelike game? And what is the difficulty level that is being brought to players? Torghast is one of the main features that is coming to all players and is supposed to be designed as an alternative roguelike minigame within the Shadowlands. Torghast is not only in the main story questlines, but is also going to be required for endgame content. In the story, Torghast is the tower where the worst of the bad are imprisoned when they die because they are beyond redemption. The tower is ruled by the jailer, who's perceived as the big bad of Shadowlands. This story reflects the Greek god Hades story a great deal in my opinion, and without giving away too many spoilers on the story, Bolvar will give you a quest to find your way into the Maw and meet Venari, who will eventually lead you into the tower. For those that do not know how to get to the Maw, it is in your main city hub of Oribos, where you will go to the second floor and you can jump in the middle of the city and it will drop you into the Maw. Once there, you will meet Venari, and the entrance to Torghast will be unlocked and located in Venari's refuge. Now that we know where the Tower of the Damned is, why do we want to go there? The first reason you will want to go there is for quest completion and Covenant campaign completion. After those are done, we have a second reason to take on the tower because we will still be visiting this place every week for legendary crafting reagent called Soul Ash. This is a set amount maxing at 50 per wing, and 2 wings are active per week for a total of 100 ash weekly. In order to craft 1 rank of a legendary, you will need 100 ash in total. This is nice because we only have to complete 2 wings of Torghast in order to have the reagents needed to make our first legendary week 1. The rune carver who will be using the soul ash to craft our legendaries in Shadowlands is also located within the tower. The third and optional reason you will want to take on Torghast is the infinite Torghast levels called the Twisting Corridors, which does not give soul ash and is not required for any reason, so if you do not want to continue doing Torghast, you do not have to. However, there are several rewards you can obtain from this level of content, and this is going to be more difficult than the weekly wings are to complete if you're looking for a little bit more of a challenge. The main reward that most will want from this version of Torghast is going to be the mount called Corridor Creeper, which can be used to mount up in the Maw during questing. Going over the main objective of the Maw, first we have the 2 weekly wings that have to be completed. There are a total of 6 wings in Torghast at the moment, and any 2 of these can be active a week. Each one of these wings, however, have 8 different layers that need to be completed in order to get the full reward of 50 ash. Each layer has 6 levels to them, making this take a decent amount of time to complete the first time. After you have completed the first wing at layer 8, you can then queue up on the next wing straight into layer 8 instead of progressing through that wing. This means week 1 you will have to do a total of 9 different layers that each have 6 levels long, resulting in a total of 54 levels for the first week. After this, every week you should be able to go into Torghast and do layer 8 on both wings, making you only have to do each wing on layer 8 at 6 levels each, for a total of 12 levels needed for max rewards weekly. Every time you start a new layer of the wing within the tower, your anima powers are reset and it starts you at a higher difficulty than the previous layer and scales up as you climb the tower. This means that layer 8 is the highest difficulty level that you will be faced with on a week-to-week basis. This information is needed before you start going into Torghast so you know what to expect. Now, going into Torghast on layer 1, floor 1, you will start off by receiving an anima orb. That will have a selection of anima powers within it. Anima powers are the power progression system within the tower, giving players new abilities, alterations to their existing abilities, heightened stats, and much more. These anima powers can be found lying around parts of the levels, as well as from killing enemies, opening chests, saving quests, solving puzzles, buying them from a vendor, and breaking large urns located within the tower. These powers are temporary and will be lost once the player has exited the lair or has completed the lair. Making the right choice in the selection of anima power you find will determine your success in the higher levels of Torghast. As you progress through these levels, you will find that there are NPCs that are locked up and need your help along the way with various tasks. Completing this saving quest will not only give you another anima power, but can also result in the NPC you just saved becoming a follower that you can use at your mission table. We also just mentioned a vendor because there will be a broker vendor every 3 levels in the tower that will provide powers and useful items that will help you climb the tower. This broker does not accept gold currency and instead only sells their items if you have collected enough phantasma within the tower. Phantasma is a currency collected from killing monsters and breaking urns, as well as some anima powers will give you a flat amount of phantasma or increase the amount that will drop from mobs. The idea is to clear every floor by exploring each corner of the level to get the most anima powers and phantasma before moving on to the next one in order to increase player power as much as you can. In order to move from floor to floor, there will be a mini boss at the end of every floor guarding the portal that you will have to take down, and every 6th floor will have a boss waiting for you in order to complete the layer of that tower. This is an important fact to keep in mind while selecting powers, because if you cannot get to floor 6 and defeat the boss before you die 5 times, you will release the Torghast, which is a massive monster who will very quickly travel to the end of the level, and if it reaches you, it will kill your character and stop you from ever being able to complete the lair, which will force you to leave and try again. If you reach 5 deaths before you reach the boss floor, you can save yourself from the Torghast by reaching the portal at the end of the level before he finds you, giving you a little chance to continue the climb. If you meet the Torghast on the boss floor, however, you will have to kill the boss before the Torghast spawns, which is 30 seconds after your 5th death, or he will reach you and kill your characters, ending the run. This is a general overview on how players will have to complete Torghast week 1 and what they will have to do on a week by week basis after that. So is this Torghast Tower a roguelike game? The idea of Torghast is definitely designed to try and be a roguelike game with a variety of different levels and mobs that will generate within the tower. However, instead of each level of Torghast being completely random spaces, it is more like a section of a massive map is blocked off from the rest of a much larger map, and that section becomes your level. This starts to become more and more obvious because there are several floors that will be exactly the same as the previous floor, or you will go down stairs that is just blocked off by a wall, but there will be adds that you cannot get to on the other side of that wall, and so on. As long as the map that they are parting off as levels continues to increase and give a larger pool of levels to randomly get, I think that this style is fine and does fit a roguelike game structure to a point. The enemies within various wings do differ from each other, giving you a new way to handle each wing. For example, some wings have a massive amount of firecasters that you will have to make sure to interrupt and LOS in order to defeat them, and others will have phantom type monsters that will leave a pool of death when they die that expands, making you consider where you kill them. The player power progression within the tower is very much like a roguelike, where you obtain powers as you progress, making you stronger as the enemies scale up as well. However, with the current tuning on the wings in Torghast, as well as the twisting corridors, the player very quickly starts to overpower every enemy that they are faced with. With this topic, we will start to talk about the difficulty of this roguelike playstyle in Torghast. The fact that most players get to the point where you can kill an end boss in a matter of seconds shows that the player power in this environment is way too strong. In the early days of Alpha, I was able to test out a version of Torghast called Heroic Level 25, where you would start on floor 25 and work your way up to floor 72. The tuning, combined with the fact that you started on this level with no anima powers, made the enemies do lethal amount of damage, and the player would have to make sure to CC all the mobs and take them down one at a time, and make sure to use all stuns and interrupts to take down the target in order to start acquiring anima powers to help ease out the power gap. This level of tuning is drastically nerfed in the current iteration of Torghast, where there is very little worry about a pack of mobs being able to kill you. Currently, you might hold off on pulling an entire area on layer 8 of one of the wings, and instead only pull a pack or two, but you can still clear the floors on layer 8 at a normal pace with minimal fear of being killed. Even in the twisting corridors at its highest layers, there's not much difficulty as the previous iterations, making this the main downfall to the roguelike game style, as well as the skill skill cap and replayability of this content. Initially, I believe most would like the difficulty level of the 2 wings that give Soul Ash to be at a moderate level of difficulty, so everybody will be able to obtain their max rewards. However, the twisting corridors should be more like the Mage Tower difficulty, making players have to use their skills and all of their classes' ability to make it to the end. I will say that the level 25 heroic run did take a massive amount of time in order to get past the first few levels because the amount of CC and kiting needed to kill the mobs, but in my opinion that was a very fun type of playstyle, and with the twisting corridors only rewarding optional items that are not needed for power and player progression, that the difficulty level of the twisting corridors should be enhanced by a massive margin. A quick wrap-up summary for Torghast would be follow the questline that opens up Torghast for your character, complete both wings of Torghast that are available every single week at the highest level possible, which is layer 8, to collect the total amount of Soul Ash, which is 100 Ash a week. Make sure you collect enough Anima Powers and Phantasma to buy Anima Powers so that you will be strong enough to kill the end boss on the 6th floor for every layer. Don't die more than 5 times or you will meet the Terragru. The Twisting Corridors is completely optional for all players and can provide rewards that do not affect player power or progression. The Torghast system has several attributes that are like a roguelike, and this content could be a ton of fun if the content is tuned to be challenge for players and not just an automatic win. Looking at Warfronts for this one. All in all, I do like the gameplay we get from Torghast, and it is nice that it can be completed as a group or a solo player, but this will only matter if the difficulty matters, because if a player can one-shot everything by themselves, then there is no want or need for group content. If you made it this far into the video, thanks for watching, and if you like the content I am creating, please like and subscribe to the channel. Every video I am trying to make better, and this one I have not only scripted it, but I am separating out the Feral Druid specific content for another video, as well as trying to make these videos shorter. If you have any suggestions to the videos, please leave them in the comment below. If you are looking forward to Torghast, let me know why in the comments as well. If you would like to see me making this content or see updates, you can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/sageshifter, as well as on Twitter and Instagram at sageshifter. As always, thank you for the support, and I will see you again next time.